I've been in the bando with the chick. My Jimmy Choo sando, cause I'm rich.
What's going on? What's going on, man? It's your boy Rich and Faith TV. We always working, we always grinding. And we back with another interview. We back with, entrepreneur talk with Rich. I got my girl Legend in the building. How you doing?
What's up, y'all? I'm good.
We working. So, we talking to the girl Legend about how she got into being a barber, how she started in her journey. So how you doing?
I'm good, man. Blessed every day, You got nothing to complain about. Every day is a new day. To have something, to find something to be grateful for. So
That's dope. That's dope. So I want to say right now, this is the first lady to ever cut my hair. I seen her work, so I sat down in the chair. I said everybody else getting their hair cut by her, so she must be there. So how did you get into being a barber?
Well, when I was in high school, I had locks. And then I wanted to cut my locks off. Like, I had never had a haircut before, so I wanted to cut my locks off. And I cut my locks off, and I had, I didn't cut them all the way off, but I had, I cut the sides and the back, right? And so, I kept it maintenance a little bit. But after a while, I realized, I can't keep this up by myself,
Mm-hmm.
Keep paying for. And the haircuts was none for me. It was none but like $20.
Uh-huh.
But I still, I was struggling. I was really actually kind of poor when I was in high school. So I decided to learn how to cut my own hair. And once I learned how to cut my own hair, I started just practicing what I knew on my friends, like my close friends. And then I started thinking, I'm like, oh, well, this could be a way for me to make some money, bus fare to get to school and stuff like that. So it just kind of went from there. Kind of really fell in my lap.
Okay, that's dope. So let's just talk about your upbringing. Where are you from?
From California.
Okay. Did you go to school in California, high school, or did you go to school out here?
No, I went to high school out here.
Okay. So when did you move to Georgia?
I've been back and forth my whole life, man. Between living with my dad, living with my aunt, living with my mom, stuff like that. So yeah. I pretty much been bouncing back and forth. I just moved back to Atlanta, I think 2.5 years ago. Yeah, so.
That's dope. So, you said that in school you were struggling as a teenager. How did you use that to motivate you to make sure that you had your life together as an older adult? What did you do different outside of learning how to cut hair?
That's a good question. I mean, I feel like I always knew that I was supposed to be something and do something and be somebody. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't know how it was going to happen. So I guess one of the things that I did to make sure, I stayed on the right path is just watch the people who I was with. And I started paying attention, to, how certain people that I wanted to hang with, I couldn't hang with. Certain people that I wanted to be friends with, it just didn't work. When things don't work, it's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. So when I started losing friends or being kind of isolated from friend groups and stuff like that, I stopped thinking about it as, oh, damn, nobody want to be my friend, and start thinking about it oh, nah, I'm just not supposed to be around these people because my purpose is worth way more,
Yeah, that's facts. So you said that you was pretty much back and forth from your dad and your mom. How was it, how was that experience being able to live in both homes, and what was the dynamic as far as how you were getting raised from your dad and your mom?
Well, with my dad, it was a little difficult. I ain't gonna say it was difficult. It was just different. He was different, you know what I'm saying? The dynamic on my dad's side of the family, I'm gonna just put it like this. The dynamic on my dad's side of the family is different from what it seems. So as a kid growing up, it was everything that I wanted to be involved with, or, the type of family dynamic that I wanted for myself. Because with my mom, on the other hand, it was different. It was kind of we were struggling a lot more, a lot more sad days than happy days.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of more struggling, not eating sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It was just, it was damn, I really want to escape this. So being with my dad or being with my aunt, And my dad's side of the family, it just kind of gave me that feeling of escape, you know? But, you know, as you get older, you see people and things for who they are and what they are, and you just make a decision. And, you know, I kind of made my own decision, you know what I'm saying? But the dynamic, to answer your question, the dynamic growing up with my mom was very different from the dynamic growing up with my dad. But the emotional dynamic was really no different, if that makes sense.
So they pretty much like, okay, when you say the emotional dynamic was no different. It go into more detail because how I take it is like, were they like, how do I want to put this? Did they care about what they had going on in their life and the struggle that they was putting you through? Did they care to see how it affects you as a young teen? Or it was just like, oh, it is what it is, this is a struggle and get through it?
For my mom, I could say that she didn't realize it as I was a teenager or as I was a kid, but the more I became my own adult, she started to realize it. And so, you know, my mom's been very apologetic about how I was raised as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Because nothing on her end was ever intentional with the way that she raised me. You know, she was doing the best that she could with the circumstance that she was given. You feel me? Now on my dad, with my dad, I can't even answer that. I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my dad loved me, but I don't know. Even when he was present, he was still absent. So it's hard for me to really answer that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Like, my mom was more emotionally absent. My dad was like physically, even when he was there, you know?
Yeah.
So I spent most of my time like with my aunt or with my stepmom when I was out there.
Okay, and that's in LA?
Not LA. We lived in Vegas. When I was living with my aunt, we were in California and San Diego, San Marcos.
Okay.
So kind of bounced around a lot when I was with them, you know?
Yeah, so what was that like being on the West Coast, you know, in that environment, and coming down here to the South and building your brand and becoming a celebrity barber here in Atlanta?
It was different. And man, it's so different. I be telling you, like, my clients, they ask me all the time. They be like, what made you? It's just different. Like, out here, I feel like as an entrepreneur, running a business is easier because it's the norm. You feel me? Like, California is much bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more difficult to make it out in California doing something like barbering because there's so many barbers. Like, it's a lot of barbers in Atlanta, don't get me wrong, but it's easy to stand out. It's easier to stand out as an entrepreneur here versus California. Not saying that nobody can do it or nobody can make it, but it's just easier in Atlanta because, again, like, it's the norm out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody got their own business, you know?
So what was your strategy of like separating yourself as a barber? You know, because like I said, there's a lot of barbers out here, but like, you're one of those ones that like people know you by face and know what you do, and you kind of like made a big impact with social media.
Well, and speaking in terms of social media, I use social media to gain like attraction from people by doing things other than cutting hair. So like, for example, I just tried to see what people were interested in the most. And one of them things were roller skating. Like, I skate, so I post a skate video and it'll go viral and I'll get hella followers, you know what I'm saying? So I did that for about 2 years, you know, branded myself as a skater. When really, I'm a barber, you know? I had a skater audience, roller skating audience. Like, people wanted to see me roller skate. And I had to get that attraction for people to see, oh, you a barber too? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of use that to my advantage in that way, just by giving people what they want to see and then showing them something different on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Showing them who I really am.
No, that's dope. That's dope. So how did you you started cutting hair in high school. You used your friends, you know, to practice on. Did you have a chance to go to college?
Nah, so I was supposed to actually go to college on a band scholarship. I had a few band scholarships to go to college. But I chose not to go. And then I was going to school in San Diego for a little bit, Palomar College, to play basketball. Okay. But then I realized, like, damn, like, I don't even really love basketball like how I thought I did anymore.
Okay.
But school was always something I struggled in. You know what I'm saying? I used my extracurricular to get me through.
Yeah.
Like I played basketball, I was in a band, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
used that shit to get me through. So when I decided not to go to college, I was just like, all right, man, well, shit, I know I'm not going, if I do go to college, I know I'm going to probably struggle academically because I don't like school. I hated school, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm just going to do what's sitting right in front of me, and that's cut hair. And shit really took me a lot of places I didn't even thought I would go.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. What is it like, you know, being a woman in a male dominant business, and it's like, oh well, I'm not letting this lady cut my hair because she's a girl and she might can't cut. And I know that could be like a uphill battle. How did you, you know, overcome those type of like, you know, stigmas?
I never paid attention to them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's entitled to their preference. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. So whenever people hit me with the, oh, I don't let females cut my hair, or like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever people did that to me, I just kept it pushing, you know? I was just like, shit, okay, you'll let a female cut your hair one day, because women is starting to take over this industry. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm starting to see a lot of female barbers now. So I just never paid attention to it. I just kept it trucking like that. And that's with anything in life. I never paid attention to people who don't pay attention to me. I just keep it trucking, because at the end of the day, if you ain't really invested in what I'm doing or want to support what I'm doing because that's your own preference, I can't be mad about that. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept it moving. It was difficult at first, like to be able to use it as like mind over matter and just to keep going. But I had to realize, like, shit, I know who I am. I know the talents I possess. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm just not some bum on the log that's just trying to cut hair just to cut hair. I knew I was hard. So it's like, I just got to keep going and focus on the people who believe in me just like I believe in myself.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. So, like, how do you, you know, get your clientele up? Do you do it the old-fashioned way? Like in the beginning, like right now, you already pretty much known, but before you got to this point, what were some marketing ways did you use to, you know, get your name out there and build your clientele up? Because I know being a barber is just like any business, you know, you got to get the customers first.
Yeah.
So what was your strategy on getting customers?
At first, I was doing it the old-fashioned way. Like I was, you know, talking to people or trying to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? I leave my cards places, but then I started realizing, like, nobody's doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was to give me their card for something they do, I'm gonna be like, yeah, all right, for sure. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the card in my pocket, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna forget about it. So I started realizing that shit, social media is the way. So I started utilizing social media. I started posting every single day. I was posting every day. Even if it was recycled content, I was still posting every single day. You know what I'm saying? Trying to show people what I do and get people attention to come to my page. And once I started posting every day, my page started getting that engagement that I wanted. So I just kept staying consistent with my posting. That was my strategy personally. Like, a lot of people still be like, oh, do it the old fashioned way. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to hand out business cards, but ideally nobody's doing business cards no more. They're not doing it the old fashioned way no more, because social media rules everything. But when you can master social media, you can literally do anything you want to do.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So let's touch back on like you being in the band and you playing, you know, basketball as well. How were you able to? I mean, I know you was able to do both, because band season is during football season and basketball season in the fall. But what was that like? You know, just doing both and being successful at both. Like, what position did you play in basketball, and what instrument did you play in the band?
Well, juggling both, it seemed like it was easy, but it really wasn't. And the reason why is because my first year playing basketball and my first year in the band, like my first year in the band, like, you know, I was a regular bandsman, so I played my instrument. But my second year in the band and my second year playing basketball, as well as my first, I had a leadership role in doing both things. So it was hard because I had to show up every time in whatever way I needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't. There would be times like there's a at the end of football season is the beginning of basketball season, right? So like when those clash, like the end of marching band season is in marching band season, but then people don't know we got parade season after that, and then we got jamboree season after parade season. So it's like, you know, trying to be in two different places at once was never easy because I'm only one person. But in basketball, I was the captain of the basketball team, you know what I'm saying? And in band, I was head drum major for 3 years. So I had a big role on both parties. You know what I'm saying? So at times it got really hard trying to juggle both, you know what I'm saying? And it got frustrating. You know, there were times where I tried to quit band. There were times where I tried to quit basketball, like genuinely. But I kept doing it because, like I said, I didn't like school. I didn't care for school. And I went through a lot at home. So going to school helped me, you know, escape what I was going through at the crib. Yeah. You feel me? So I stuck with everything that I was doing and just tried to see it all through and see how it would benefit me.
Nah, that's facts. Take me through, what is it like, you know, struggling at home and coming to school and kind of like being a popular person, being a superstar, because you play both leadership positions in both, you know, situations, and but having to go back home and deal with the struggle, like, did that make you? I know it did, but I'm just gonna ask you, did that play a part into like who you are as a woman today?
Yeah, definitely, because it was like night and day. I almost hated going home just because I knew what I was going home to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going home to a happy home, going home to a broken home, you know? So going to school and being around people, being able to laugh and smile. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't always easy being around people because, like I said, I felt like an outcast in a way. So going to school, just being able to do what I love, you know what I'm saying? And with the help of certain teachers, the love of certain teachers, it really kept me afloat. A lot of times, like I said, I hated going home because that high that I was on, it always came crashing down. You know what I'm saying? And shit, even sometimes going to school was hard because I got to put on a smile in front of everybody. I got to put on the front in front of everybody when my life is not really what it seemed like it really is, you know? So it had good days and I had bad days. You know what I'm saying? I had people that cared about me to help me through the bad days though.
Nah, that's real. I could imagine on like what that could really be like, you know. So that's a great thing that you was able to overcome that. I remember I was watching you doing a like challenge, a fast challenge. You wasn't eating like certain kind of foods. You were trying to lose weight, and it looked like you lost a little weight, you know, pretty fast. Where do you get that discipline from?
Well, when I was a drum major, my drum major coach always implemented mind over matter. He always, when he would train us, he always said, you know, it's not your body, it's your mind. You're not tired, it's just your mind. So when I did my fast, I did 21 days and I just was focused more on the outcome of my fast. It wasn't necessarily to lose weight, but to cleanse my body and to cleanse my mind, you know, because the food is poison. A lot of people don't know food is poison and it's addictive. So food is just as bad as any drug, you know what I'm saying? So when I did my fast with the goal to cleanse and it helped. I was just in a different state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I set new goals for myself and I was able to accomplish things that I didn't think that I was able to accomplish. So when you when you do the unknown, you know what I'm saying, or you do something that you feel like in the beginning you can't do, but you still gonna test it out and you finish through with it, that just gives you confidence to do whatever else it is in your life that you want to do. So with that discipline, I'm about to do like a water fast, 7-day water fast, you know what I'm saying? Just to cleanse my body again and see how disciplined I am. You know what I'm saying? Because you will always test your own discipline. People don't know that. You can always test your own discipline. And I feel like if people started doing that more and started paying attention to their discipline and how disciplined they are, it can help in so many other areas of their life. People don't know that though, because they don't test their own self. They don't test their discipline.
Right. That takes us in my next question I wanted to ask you. So I noticed like you have a way of always like reinventing yourself. It can just be small things like cutting your hair, growing your hair, or having this type of style, or having this, different type of style. Like, where does that come from? Where you just kind of like reinvent yourself after so long?
I feel like as a human, shit. Sorry, so sorry. But I feel like as a human, we always evolving. So I feel like there should be constant change. If you staying stagnant in any type of way in your life, then that's not a good thing. So I'm a firm believer in evolution and just becoming a better version of yourself, no matter how that looks like to the outside world or how that looks like to anyone else that's not doing the same thing. I feel like we all should always change. Change is good. Changing your hair is good. Maybe a new tattoo, changing the way you dress, changing your routine. Change is always good. So I'm impulsive, but it don't come from a bad place. You feel me? It come from, something needs to shake. I need to figure something out. Let me change this up a bit. You know what I'm saying? Or when I start feeling stagnant or anything, like I feel like any type of change is going to help.
Okay, I feel that.
You can lay your head back.
So back on a barber tip, once you start growing as a barber, I see that you have an ebook and stuff like that. How did you, structure your business? Did you have like a consultant, or this was just something that you had to figure out on your own?
I figured it all out on my own through trial and error. And like you said earlier, like asking me about being a female barber, you know what I'm saying? I took everything that I learned with trial and error and implemented it into my own business to make sure that, I'm able to run and structure my business in the way that I want to. So there have been times where, like, for example, like, I have a booking policy, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And my booking policy comes from nothing but trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, for example, in my policy, it states, if you do a no-show, you can never book again. Mm-hmm. I don't care how much money you offer me. Why? Because my time is valuable. Mm-hmm. So I learned that structure just by people. I had 4 people do a no-show. I cut 2 heads this particular day. And it had me upset because I'm like, I was looking at myself like, damn, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why people keep no-showing me and I'm just trying to make some money. You know what I'm saying? But I had to look at myself like, no, it's not you. Your time is valuable and your money, money is valuable, but it's not always worth your time. So that's why it's in my policy. If you do a no-show, then you can't never book again. You know what I'm saying? Just trial and error. Having all them no-shows when I first started cutting hair makes me not ever want to have another no-show. You feel me? So I'm like, I won't deal with that no more. So I structure my business based off of trial and error, not no one else's trial and error, not know how no one else run their business, none of it. My personal trial and error. And that's the best way to run a successful business because you're going to run it the way you want to run it. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
No, that's right. So when you say a no-show, do you consider like the client just something like, hey, something came up, I won't be able to come? It's a no-show, or it's just like they don't say nothing at all? They don't say nothing at all.
So it's one thing if you let me know, like, hey, something came up, I got to cancel for the day, but guess what? I got cancel fees. You cancel on me same day, you got to pay a fee. If you don't pay the fee, you can't book with me no more. Don't even worry about it. I don't want the money. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got a rule for everything based off of trial and error. So, and then even if somebody does, I don't ban people from booking with me just because they always cancel same day and they gonna think they just gonna send me the money. No, because you're playing with my time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I had this one client one time, like, she'll book an appointment with me. She'll book multiple appointments with me. And then the day of her appointment, she'll cancel. For whatever reason, she always would cancel. And it got to the point to where it's like, now when she booked, I wasn't even ever for sure if she was going to come to the appointment. So this is one time she did that shit one last time. And I told her, I was like, you know what? I was like, don't even send the cancel fee because I feel like you keep booking with me and you waste my time every time you book. Now, sending a cancel fee is like, it's cool, but I could be making my whole profit off of someone that's going to come to their appointment. So I just feel like, I just think that people who play on other people's time and who don't take it serious, they don't need a barber that is serious about their time.
Yeah, or serious about their work.
Yeah.
So have you ever worked in like a traditional barbershop before?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so what was that like?
Well, I've worked in a few barbershops. I worked in a few barbershops here. I worked in a few barbershops out in California. Well, not a few. I worked in 2 shops in California. It was always different for me because, like I said, when I was first coming up as a barber, there were not a lot of female barbers. So I'm in a shop with a bunch of older men. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a shop with a bunch of older men, with men who've been cutting for 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Just as the youngin'. Now, granted, the shops that I have worked at, I've never had a problem with men being weird or jealous or anything like that. I've been around good people. You know, even the barbershop that I worked at in California, you know, I still got contact with homie because he looked out for me. You know what I'm saying? And it was always love. So my first actual barbershop that I worked at was actually Infamous Tattoos on Old National. I don't know if you ever heard.
I heard of Infamous Tattoos. Yeah, it's over there by the fish spot.
Yeah. So that was my first barbershop that I worked at, and those were like my big brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm coming to work, looking at them, taking notes from every one of them in there. You know, if you was to ask me, what did I learn, to name something I learned from all of the barbers, I would be able to tell you because I learned a lot from all of them just by working in there. So it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it got a little frustrated because, like I said, starting out, I didn't have it all together. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I would come to work just to sit there, come to work and watch them cut hair. You know what I'm saying? Come to work and hope I get a client for the day. So in that aspect, it was difficult. But like in every barbershop that I worked with, I've become like family to the people that I was working with.
At the time, you wasn't like working your social media to get, customers?
I was trying. It was slow. It's a slow process, man. Like, so I got like over 400K right now. It took me a long time to even get to 10K. And even when I got to 10K, like I said, when I first started cutting hair, getting to 10K, I got to 10K off roller skating. So it's like not a lot of people interested in me as a barber. They interested in me as a roller skater or a dancer, or you know what I'm saying? So it was hard, bro. Like utilizing social media, like it was very hard in the beginning. And then at the same time, like I was doing everything by myself because I'm working with people that don't use social media. I'm working with older men that don't care for social media. They don't even post on social media. They clients, you know what I'm saying? But that's what was so frustrating because I'm like, y'all don't even gotta post. Y'all got clients coming in and out all day. What the fuck am I finna do? So I just took shit. I'm young and this was popping right now. So I just gotta figure it out.
You know, they working the slow grind. You know, they doing the word of mouth thing. So no, I did that. So once TikTok became like a top social media platform, what was your strategy to work that? And I know that you're on YouTube as well.
My strategy was to just be as authentic as I could, because what I noticed on social media is a lot of people that are not really themselves. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who put on a front or a persona. Hell, there was a lot of people that did that shit and I knew exactly who they were, but they on social media, they a whole nother person, you know? So I was like, I've always been a person, I'm gonna go against the grain with whatever I'm doing in life. And I'm gonna always do what I feel is right. So I just told myself I'm gonna be as authentic as I can on social media and see what that does for me. And believe it or not, majority of my followers follow me because of how authentic I am, not because of how I cut hair, not because of how I dress, not because of how I roller skate, but just because I'm an authentic person and I'm a real person. You know what I'm saying? And people respect that. I feel like people will respect you longer if you show who you are as a person. And so that was my strategy into just gaining that type of attention from people, is to just be who I am, because at the end of the day, being someone else or being something else ain't gonna last me long. But being authentic on social media, no matter what the norm is on social media. You know, every other month is something new, right? But no matter what the norm is or what the norm becomes, I'ma always be on top in my lane because I'm who I am and I don't have to fake or prolong or do anything to come outside of who I am to have my platform.
No, that's real. That's real. So I see that you got Michael Jackson in here, you got Nipsey and Kobe. How did they impact your life as far as being an entrepreneur and a person?
Well, Michael Jackson, I could go down each one. So Michael Jackson, he impacted me in a way of he was very authentic himself. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the media would say about him, no matter what the press, even if you watch some of his interviews, like I don't know if you ever seen any of his interviews, but anytime somebody came, so I heard that you had in your house. Like Mike was like real, you know. You know what I'm saying? He was real. You feel me? Like he was real and he was open, and he was also very talented, and he also went against the grain. And a lot of his music it go over a lot of people's head. You know what I'm saying? And Mike was very like empathetic and vulnerable, and I appreciated that about him. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have a lot of artists that's like that. Not even now, you know? So I feel like he was one of a kind in a lot of aspects. Plus, I grew up as a dancer, and Mike was one of the first people that I started watching as a dancer. Kobe, I just feel like Kobe was a hard worker, and he was very dedicated to what he was doing. And he always went against the grain too. Like if you notice, Kobe was never with a crowd. Yeah. He always did what he thought was best for himself. He always did the right thing in his way of doing things. No matter what people thought about it, nothing. And he was dedicated to everything that he was doing. So his dedication is what really made me become a fan. And then Nipsey, man, Nipsey was just a different person in my opinion. Like I watched all his interviews. I got a lot of his merch, you know what I'm saying? Just listening to who he was as a person, listening to him talk, listening to what he stood for. That is what has me like really tied into who Nipsey was and him as an artist and him as a person. Cause he was an authentic ass person. You know what I'm saying? Like in one of his interviews, he said the highest human act is to inspire. And he was very inspirational. So that's something that I live by, like inspiring people, because inspiring someone could go a long way. It could go longer than money, a farther way than money. It could go farther than anything materialistic, anything. Inspiration is the biggest blessing you could get to anybody.
Nah, that's real. And that brings me to my next question. Like, do you realize how much impact you have on like younger kids? Like when they see you and they's like, oh, I see you all the time and you so dope. You know, like my little brother said he wanted to take a picture with you today. So like, why do you think like what you're doing impact kids so much in a positive way?
Man, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I feel like because I'm authentic and I've always shown my true colors, my true struggles, everything that I've been through, you know what I'm saying? I show that because it's my journey. And I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed of my journey. But when it comes to that, like, it's still new. Like, even people, like, when I go to my alma mater, like, my high school, like, people tripping. I'm like, yo, like, I still look at myself like just a regular person, you know, just with influence. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a regular person trying to influence people that were like me or that are like me in the same situation, you know? So it's always crazy. It's just crazy. Like, I be having to sit back and look at myself and be like, damn, like you really creating something that you never even thought you was going to create. You really impacting and being an inspiration to people that you never even thought you would be an inspiration to. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, like I always knew I was going to be somebody. I just never knew how. And I didn't honestly, like, to tell you the truth, I didn't even think it would come this quick. You know, like I'm young. So it's like mind blowing in a way, you know?
Yeah, no, especially, you know, doing this with being a barber. You know,
yeah.
Did you think like all this will come with just being a barber or like?
Hell no. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even expect to take barbering far. Like I thought barbering was just going to be something that I did on the side. Like I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I ain't even going to lie to you. I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to be. I just knew that I wanted to escape my situation and be something better than my situation. So I never knew even barbering could take you this far. To take anyone as far as it can take them. You know what I'm saying? So it's still just a blessing unveiling itself to me every single day. Every single day I get a booked day of work, booked week of work. Every single time I get people flying out just to come get their haircuts. It's still new. You know what I'm saying? Like, still that same kid. I'll never change. But like I said, just want to be an inspiration to people. Regardless of what you want to do, you can do it no matter the situation. No situation is bigger than your destiny.
Nah, that's dope. So, who has been like your most, favorite client that was a celebrity that you kind of like grew up watching? You was able to cut their hair.
I haven't been able to cut anybody hair and I haven't been able to cut any celebrity hair that I grew up watching. Like I have yet to be able to be on that type of level. I've cut a few celebrities, of course, but as far as somebody that's like an inspiration that I've been watching, nah. I did meet Chris Brown though, and if you know me, you know Chris Brown is like my biggest inspiration. Like he surpasses Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson probably my second biggest inspiration, but Chris Brown has always been my biggest inspiration.
Nah, that's real. That's real. So, even though this is an old situation, let's talk about the situation you had with an artist. He got his way of not paying the money. Like, how did that even go down?
Oh.
Like, how do you leave without being able to pay? Like, what that look like? You just couldn't. Was it like a situation like you can't believe this person is trying this, or what was that?
Bro, so honestly, he called me the first time for the cut. I came through, I cut his hair. He paid me. Everything was fine. Like, he was a good dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? I won't put that past him. But, like, the second time he had hit me up for, like, a lineup, you know what I'm saying? It was a house call. So, like, people don't know that it was a house call. Like, it wasn't, like, on some shit where, like, he coming to me on some shit. But even when he hit me for a house call initially, I didn't overcharge him because of who he was. And people thought that I did that. But my normal house call price was, in fact, $150. You know what I'm saying? He paid me $200 the first time I went to him, but my regular house call price was $150. It wasn't nothing more, nothing less, and that's exactly what I charge him. Off the strength of shit, you let me cut your hair, I'm gonna treat you like a regular nigga. Because at the end of the day, you got money, but I got clients, so that shit don't matter to me. But when I got there the second time, he was in meetings. Like it took me like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to even sit him down to be able to cut his hair because he was busy. He was already in meetings, And I know like you a nigga of status, so you got shit going on. So I'm never the type of person that's pushy, I'm cool until, you try me, as people seen. So he finally came down and stuff, and I cut his hair. I lined him up, and I just charged him $100 for the lineup because you blessed me with an extra $50 the first time I came to you. So I just charged him $100 for the lineup, and he was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna get that to you. I got some more meetings to get to." Now, based off the fact he was already in meetings when I got there, I was trying to be cool. I was like, I'm not tripping because you already was in meetings when I got here. So I'm going to take your word for it. I hit him up like maybe around 10 o'clock that night, and he texted me right back. I was like, "Hey, don't forget about me." He was like, "I got you. Don't worry." He texted me right back within like 2 minutes. And so, a couple of days went by. And so I'm like, damn. I think this nigga trying to get me, but I'm going to let it. I'm going to still let time do his thing because it wasn't about the money for me. It was really the principle. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, I could have really taxed your ass $500 just because you a singing ass nigga, but I didn't do that. You feel me? So I let a few days go by, and then after like maybe like I think like 4 days, I was just like more so like, damn, it's not even about the money now. Like now you try me, and the people, like I said, people that fuck with me, they fuck with me hard. So once I posted it and shit like that, they was going hard for me, but it wasn't really about the money, bro. You playing with me, and I'm an authentic person, He told me that to my face. He was like, "Bro, you genuine, like you really seem like you hella talented." Like he gave me my goddamn props, so that's why I was so confused. When somebody try to use me though, you'll never get respect from me ever again because I'm a genuine person,
What did you learn out of that situation?
Can't be nice to everybody. You can't let everything slide just because trying to be nice. Because all in all, that's what I was trying to do. Because I could have been like, "Oh no, nigga, go ahead and go to your meeting. I'm gonna sit down here until you done." But I didn't do that. I was just like, "Oh, you cool ass nigga. So go ahead and get to me when you can. I know you got other shit to worry about." But you can't be nice to everybody, bro. And also, you can't please everybody. Because even when that shit came out, niggas was mad at me. Because I charged a nigga with what the fuck? I would usually charge anybody. Niggas was mad at me because of my price. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was mad at me because I left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't please everybody. You can't be nice to everybody.
So how do you secure yourself now from things like that happening?
What you mean?
Like, how do you make sure things like that don't happen anymore? Like, what type of policy you have in place? What type of payment method you have in place where somebody can't do that again? Or rapper, celebrity card, yo, like, I got you. Like, what do you do now to prevent that from happening? Maybe that's the best way. But
I just do deposits now. I never really trip. Like, I don't really like doing house calls to begin with because I just feel like it's too much for me to just come outside of my element. I much rather prefer to be here in my element, you know what I'm saying, in the shop. But I just have deposits and shit now. Nothing really too crazy. But I just make sure, you know, if you're locking in with me, you got to send me a deposit and it got to be at least 50%.
Nah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. So what are you planning on, doing with your barber career? Like, how far you plan on taking it? Is it something like you want to get your own shop and maybe teach barbers how to cut? Like, what's your vision with it?
Yeah, I want to have my own shop. I want to have a couple shops, like traditional shops, even salon suites. Like, I could fuck with doing the salon suites too, but I just really want to use barbering to show people life skills. Because at the end of the day, it's not really just about cutting hair. I mean, we all gonna always need barbers, you know what I'm saying? But it's about how you use barbering for your life, how you use barbering and things you can learn from cutting hair for your life. Because, we could do anything we want to, but our life is still gonna be our life, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right, man. Well, as y'all can see, I know she got me looking like a new person. You know what I mean? I gotta come next to Legend, man. Legend, how you get your name?
I gave myself my name.
Yeah.
My nickname, Legend is my nickname, actually. That's not my real name. People think it's my real name, but I gave myself my name. My nickname was Red. My granny used to always call me that. They used to always call me Little Red and stuff. So after she passed away, I gave myself Red. So when people ask me what was my name is Red. But then I started researching and doing researches on names and stuff like that, and how your name has a lot to do with the alignment of your life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I want my name to be Legend. When people speak about me, even if they speaking bad about me, you speaking good about me, because my name is Legend. You speaking my name into existence for me, no matter what you say about me. So I gave myself that name.
No, that's real, man. Well, Legend, man, appreciate it for lacing me up and letting me come through here and do an interview with you.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? This is a dope experience. It's like, I ain't never had a child on my face, so I can start treating myself like this more often.
For sure.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I just had to get better with booking appointments. Because the lady that do my hair, shout out to Touched by Yellow, she had put me on the booking appointment thing. So I let my old lady hold it out for me. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna get better at that because I want to keep getting my hair laced like this. So you feel me?
For sure.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you too.
Of course, we locked in.
Yeah, looking like it. You feel me? Looking like it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You see it. Oh yeah, thank you so much.
For sure.
Beard on point, yeah, full beard, yeah.
Yes, sir.
No patches, real stuff, natural. She ain't had to put nothing in.
No spray.
No spray on the hairline either. That's all me. Yeah, your boy, Rich and Faye TV. We out.
For sure.